How's it going, Dave here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to write really awesome sounding neo-soul riffs in 5 simple steps. Let's have a listen to the riff I've prepared for the lesson and then jump straight into it. Alright, so the first step is to get a basic chord progression. So the chord progression I used for this particular riff was a 4, 2, 3, 6 in the key of G. If you know the number system, you'll know that chord number 4 in the key of G is C major. You'll know that chord number 2 in the key of G major is A minor. You'll know that chord number 3 is B minor. And you'll know that chord number 6 is E minor. So altogether our chord progression is C, A minor, B minor, and E minor. Now for neo-soul chord progressions that start with chord number 4 sound really cool. That's a kind of a go-to chord for me to start on. It has a really awesome sound. So that's step 1, chord progression. Step number 2 is embellishing your chords and adjusting the voicings. What we're going to do is we're going to just change these chords up a little bit to make them sound a little bit more sophisticated. First of all, C major. Sounds kind of boring. Let's turn it into a C major 7 chord. Awesome, okay? One cool thing you can do is use more than one voicing of the same chord. So I'm playing the C major 7 here. So 3 on the A, 5 on the D, 4 on the G, 5 on the B. And you can also play a C major 7 this way as well. Very common neo-soul voicing. So I'm going to be using this voicing as well as this voicing. Okay, so lovely. Then for the A minor. Now I chose an A minor 11 for the A minor. So sounds like that. But then I also used that very same second voicing I used for the C major 7. As this voicing can also be used as an A minor 9 chord. So this voicing is a C major 7 or an A minor 9 as well. So altogether we've got C major 7 and then A minor 11 and A minor 9. And the note in the bass really brings out the kind of quality of the chord, whether it is C or A, even though we're playing the exact same thing. Now for the B chord, I played B minor 11. Okay, so same shape as the A minor 11, but 2 frets higher. Pretty simple. And then for the E minor, I just played an E minor 7. What I decided to do with this chord progression is repeat it a second time, but instead of going to the E minor the second time round, we're gonna finish on the C major 7. Okay? Those are the new voicings we've got for our chords. Let's move on to step number 3. So step number 3 is to add in passing chords. Now passing chords are really something that will take chord progressions to the next level. Now if you're not sure what kind of chords to use as passing chords, you don't even know what passing chords are, I did do a video on 10 different types of passing chords you can check out. That's really going to open your mind to new possibilities in your chord progressions. But let's take a look at what I did here. So after that B minor 11, I wanted to add more tension leading into the E minor 7. So I decided to play B minor 11, then play B minor 7 sharp 5. This is an altered chord, and I used it as a secondary dominant chord, as it's a 5th higher than E, which is the next chord. When there's a chord in your chord progression where the next chord is a 5th lower, if you play a dominant chord, it sounds great, as I've mentioned millions of times on this channel. And if we play an altered chord, so with the sharp 5th, then it sounds even jazzier and spicier before heading to E minor. Okay. Now, the second time round, as I said, we go from B minor 11 straight into C major 7 and finish there. So what I did is I played these diminished chords, and I honestly can't tell you why this works. Except for the fact that there's kind of a chromatic movement in the bass here, so. But it sounds really cool. so I'm playing A diminished 7th, 7 on the D, 8 on the G, 7 on the B, and 8 on the E, and then just moving it down a fret. Before finishing on the C major 7. So those are the passing chords I've used in the chord progression. So altogether the chord progression should sound like this now. It's starting to come together now, but now we need to add some melody. And step 4, of course, is adding melody to our riff. One way you can kind of make your chord progression sound more melodic is to just play the notes in your chord individually, which I did for the first C major 7 chord. And I hammered on that very last note. Okay? And when I go to the second voicing of the C major 7, I'm playing this kind of chromatic line in the top. Just kind of pulling off, yeah? Pretty simple. Then I played each note of the A minor 11 individually. Okay? And then I moved back to that A minor 9 voicing, which is the same as the C major 7. And in the top, I just did that. Okay? Then for the B minor 11 and the B7 sharp 5, just played the notes individually again. Good. And then we move to the E minor. So I hammer on any finger that's not the index finger. So my ring finger and my middle finger, I'm hammering on there. Adds a little bit more melody in there. Then I'm using my little finger to hammer on and pull off the 10th fret of the E and B strings. There we go, pretty simple. From there, I do this cool little triplet lick where I mix in double stops and single notes. And I'm mostly using the pentatonic scale there, although there are a couple of notes outside of the pentatonic scale. Then we start again. And then we play the diminished chord, and finish on the C major 7. Melody is step number 4. We're pretty much there. Step number 5 is probably the most important and often overlooked aspect of writing neo-soul riffs. So let's take a look at step number 5 now. So step number 5 is articulation. So we know what we're playing now. We know the chords and the melody and the rhythm of what we're playing, but how are we playing it? Neo-soul is all about feeling and vibe. And the best way to achieve that is through your technique and the way you express notes on the guitar. It's more about how you play notes rather than what you're actually playing. So you could be playing something really simple, just using basic major and minor chords, and it will sound loads better than someone using all these altered dominant chords and tritone substitutions and everything if they have terrible articulation. What can we do? So this first arpeggio, I used a bit of dynamics with this. So the very top note, I really plucked quite hard. Playing part of the chord quiet and then the rest of the chord very loud. That's one way we can add some articulation. It just adds some variety and feeling to the chord. Then that lick, I played very kind of mellow and legato, so I was pulling off. All right, and that creates a nice contrast with. See how it's more gentle there. And then when I play the A minor 11, again a bit more aggressive. But really plucking that last note there. And then again, more mellow here. Okay, so it's kind of like a call and response between more aggressive and more gentle. Then with the B minor 11 and B7 sharp 5, didn't really pay a huge amount of attention to the articulation here, but I just made the top notes accented a little bit more. Then hammering on here. Now, hammering on and pulling off is an articulation. You could choose to just pick both notes, but hammering on has a smoother sound. You might want a more aggressive sound. It just depends on the vibe you're going for, okay? So really think about this after you've written your riffs. What vibe am I going for? how can I change the way I play this riff to make it sound more what I'm going for? And you'll be surprised at the results. So again, we're hammering on and pulling off here. We could pick if we wanted to. Or we could palm mute everything. It's all a matter of preference and what you want to express. But yeah, I chose to hammer on and pull off because I'm going for a smooth sound. And this run, I wanted to sound as smooth as possible as well. So I wanted to use my pick as little as possible here. And I only played a note with the pick when a new string was being introduced. So I think I used my pick 4 times there, and there were way more than 4 notes. Really, really trying to make it sound smooth and slidey and gliding all over the place, as that's quite characteristic of neo soul. Now the riff repeats again, of course, but at the end it's different. When I hit these diminished chords, they're quite tense chords, so I tried to up the tension by just playing them a little bit harder and a bit more staccato, because it makes that resolution at the end even sweeter. Those are the 5 steps to writing a neo soul riff. If you want the tab for this particular riff, then head down to my Patreon page in the description and the download link is there. If you enjoyed the video, click like, let me know what you thought in the comments. What do you want to see in the comments? More of these riff writing guides? Let me know. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I know that most of you who are watching are not subscribed, so make sure you subscribe to my channel. I've written a book called Chord Charisma, and the first 2 chapters are available for free down in the description. And those first 2 chapters are really, really valuable in themselves. They're going to teach you how to write a basic chord progression to start off with, but then build that chord progression up, like I did in step number 2 of this video, with extensions like 7ths, 9ths, 11ths, and 13ths. And it's absolutely free. All you got to do is head to the description and take a look there. And if you like the first 2 chapters, you can check the book out, the entire book, down on my Patreon page at the Gold Tier membership for $10 per month. So that's it for today. Make sure you check out this video, and I'll see you there.